In January 2024, two Navy SEALs disappeared into the ocean. Pitch black night, rough seas, no visibility. They were boarding a suspicious vessel off the coast of Somalia. But here's the strange part. They weren't launched from a destroyer, not from an aircraft carrier, not even from land. They came from a ship most people would completely ignore. A 785-foot vessel. That looks exactly like a commercial oil tanker. No weapons bristling on deck, no obvious military markings, just another ship in the crowd. Except it isn't. Because this vessel can sit in international waters for months, launch aircraft, deploy special forces, and run military operations across an entire region, without ever asking permission from anyone. This is the U.S. Navy's largest expeditionary sea base, and it might be one of the most important ships you've never heard of. Here's a problem most people don't think about. The United States military operates globally, but it doesn't actually control most of the places it operates from. Military bases? They're political. A country that allows U.S. forces today could shut the door tomorrow. Elections change things, alliances shift, pressure builds, and suddenly, access is gone. Now you have a problem, because modern military operations depend on proximity. You need fuel, aircraft staging, maintenance, logistics, command centers. And without a nearby base, everything becomes slower, harder, and riskier. So for decades, the solution was simple. Build more ships. Deploy carrier strike groups. Send amphibious assault ships. But there's a catch. These ships are extremely expensive, highly visible, and impossible to ignore. When an aircraft carrier shows up, everyone knows. Sometimes that's the point. But sometimes it's a problem. Because not every situation calls for overwhelming force. Sometimes you need something quieter. Something that can stay without escalating tension. Something that doesn't look like a warship at all. So the Navy asked a different question. What if we didn't rely on land at all? Instead of designing a new warship from scratch, the Navy did something unexpected. They went to a commercial shipyard and pointed at an oil tanker, specifically an Alaska-class crude oil tanker. At the time, military budgets were tight. Traditional amphibious ships cost over $2 billion each. So General Dynamics proposed something radical. Don't build a warship. Convert a commercial one. The result? A ship that costs around $540 million, roughly 1/4 the price. But here's where it gets interesting. They didn't just modify the tanker. They completely reimagined it. First, they removed the oil storage systems. That created massive internal space. Then they rebuilt the interior. Living quarters for hundreds of personnel. Storage areas, maintenance facilities, medical spaces, command centers. And then came the most visible change. A massive flight deck, 52,000 square feet. 4 helicopter landing spots, fully equipped with aviation fuel systems, flight control, maintenance support. Below that, another huge mission deck. This is where operations actually happen. Small boats launch and recover here. Equipment is stored and swapped out. Special operations are staged. And here's the key idea. This ship isn't powerful because of advanced technology. It's powerful because it's practical. It takes proven commercial engineering and turns it into a floating military base. Reliable, flexible, and most importantly, unassuming. From a distance, it still looks like a tanker. And that's exactly the point. This ship doesn't fight like a traditional warship. It doesn't chase enemies. It doesn't patrol aggressively. Instead, it parks and stays there for weeks, sometimes months, becoming a fixed hub in the middle of the ocean. From that position, everything spreads outward. Helicopters lift off every few hours. MH-60 Seahawks fly missions hundreds of miles away. They transport personnel, gather intelligence, support operations. Meanwhile, MH-53EC Dragons sweep the ocean, dragging sonar systems through the water, looking for sea mines. These missions aren't quick. They take time, persistence, consistency, and that's exactly what this platform provides. A stable base, always there, always ready. But then, January 2024, everything changes. A suspicious vessel is spotted off Somalia. Intelligence suggests something serious. Weapons, not small arms, something bigger. A Navy SEAL team is deployed. They launch from the sea base at night. Conditions are bad. High waves, no visibility. As they approach the target, something goes wrong. One SEAL falls into the water. Immediately, his teammate jumps in after him. That's protocol. You don't leave someone behind, but the ocean is unforgiving. Dark, cold, violent. Both men disappear. Search efforts begin immediately. They scan over 21,000 square miles. Days pass, nothing. After 10 days, both are declared dead. Navy Special Warfare Operator First Class Christopher Chambers and Navy Special Warfare Operator Second Class Nathan Gage Ingram. 2 operators gone. But the mission continues, because what they found on that vessel changes everything. Inside were advanced weapon systems, ballistic missile components, guidance systems, warheads, anti-ship cruise missile parts. These weren't random shipments. These were the same types of weapons being used to attack commercial shipping. This became the first major seizure of advanced Iranian weapons tied to the conflict. And none of this would have been possible without the sea base. Because think about what the operation required. Proximity to the target, rapid deployment capability, aviation support, command coordination, all from international waters, no base, no permission, no delay, just action. Even the crew structure is unusual. This isn't a typical Navy ship. It's a hybrid. On one side, 44 civilian mariners. They handle navigation, engineering, ship operations. On the other side, about 100 Navy personnel. They run combat systems, air operations, security, mission coordination, and the ship can support up to 250 additional personnel, depending on the mission. On the bridge, something unique happens. A civilian mate stands watch, next to a Navy tactical officer. One focuses on sailing the ship, the other focuses on the mission. 2 different worlds, working together. This system has advantages. Civilian mariners bring long-term experience. They stay on contracts longer. Navy crews rotate every 5 months, using a blue-gold system, which means the ship never stops operating. It just keeps going. Continuous presence, without burning out crews. Since 2017, this ship has been operating in the Persian Gulf, almost continuously. Think about that. Nearly a decade. In one of the most strategically important regions in the world. It supports mine countermeasures, special operations, maritime security, weapons interdictions, and it's not alone anymore. More ships like it have been deployed, including one assigned to Africa Command. But here's the real shift. These ships are evolving. They're no longer just support platforms. They're becoming hubs for unmanned systems, drones, autonomous boats, underwater vehicles. Future concepts go even further, turning these ships into drone motherships, coordinating swarms across air, sea, and below the surface. And because of their modular design, they can adapt. New systems come in containers. Old ones get swapped out. No major redesign needed. Just upgrade and go. But let's be clear, this ship isn't invincible. It has almost no armor, minimal defensive weapons. In a high-threat environment, it's vulnerable. It relies on protection from destroyers. Ships equipped with advanced air defense systems. So this isn't a replacement for traditional warships. It's something else. A gap filler. A force multiplier. Designed for situations where you need presence. But not escalation. Capability, but not visibility. It's not about overwhelming power. It's about smart positioning. The next time you see footage of naval operations in the Persian Gulf or off the coast of Africa, there's a good chance this ship is there. You just won't notice it. Because it doesn't stand out. It blends in. Looks like any other tanker. But while it sits there, quietly, it's launching missions, supporting operations, shaping outcomes, without ever drawing attention. The USS Lewis B. Puller has been doing this for years now. No headlines, no spotlight, just presence, sustained, uninterrupted, and exactly where it needs to be. Because in modern warfare, the most important ships aren't always the ones you see. Sometimes, they're the ones hiding in plain sight,